So this is the perfect example to show why mist coating new plaster is so important. So in this area, it's just been where a screw is and the top's been knocked off. So before you do any filling, it's important to remove anything loose around that area. But because the plaster hasn't been mist coated, this is the knock-on effect that it has. So to start with, this was the size of a 2p piece. And from this 2p piece size can go on to being the whole wall. Now I know there's many times where you can just use legs of Zinsser Peel Stop and bind those edges back to the surface and then do any filling to feather it into the wall. But me personally, when it's coming off this easy, I'd rather just scrape the lot. It saves a lot of filling and a lot of sanding. So this is what we're looking at. Oh, and don't be fooled, you'll get to a point and it just starts to break you and you think, is this really all worth it? Is this worth my time? But you know it looks good when it's done. So the important thing is to scrape until it doesn't scrape anymore. And by that I mean, if it's not coming off easy and you have to really scrape and force bits off like this, stop scraping. You don't need to scrape anymore. You just want to scrape back until it's pretty much a solid edge, which is what this area is here. But of course, the harder you scrape, the more you scrape, it is going to come away. But if it's not budging like this, leave it alone. This is when I would use the Zinsser Peel Stop, just to be sure those edges that I've left behind are stuck to the surface. So when using this product, it is important to brush in towards the edge of the paint, as you can see I'm doing here. So by brushing in towards it, you're forcing the peel stop to go underneath, if it can, those edges of the paint. You might not think it's getting much in there, but don't be fooled, it's doing its job. So you're just making sure those edges are really stuck back. If you've followed me for a while, or if you're familiar with Zinsser Guards, you'll know that it's a clear product. So when it's dry, it's completely clear. This can be used to seal bare plaster. And that's what I've done on this part. I just, for some reason, forgot to record it. So it may look like I've done some filling over bare plaster, but I haven't. I've sealed it with the Zinsser Guards. When you've done all that filling and sanding, you can then paint as normal. So if you can get that peel and paint off, it's actually less work for a better finish.